First, they called us liars when we said that Cyril Ramaphosa and the South African government wanted to expropriate the land without compensation, drive them white colonizers out into shanty towns. Then he said this:
the land of our forefathers and our foremothers must return to our people without any fail and without any payment of compensation. And it must happen now.
Then they called us conspiracy theorists for believing that Western countries were going to end up looking exactly like Cyril Ramaphosa's South Africa. And then the new mayor of New York saying that he was going to use the blueprint of Nelson Mandela's Rainbow Nation to turn the said cities and countries into absolute slums. And finally, there's people waking up talking about it. I covered this story a few weeks ago. This guy's a fruitcake. Mayor Mamdani. South Africa is the model for New York. Imagine, the new mayor said in his inauguration that Nelson Mandela's Freedom Charter was his blueprint. Alright. Now, as we covered also recently, we know exactly the lies that have been told about Nelson Mandela for about 35 years by mainstream media and really despotic government officials. The man was a racist, a terrorist, and a puppet. That's it. Can we move on from using his blueprints to build the most beautiful cities in Western countries? Like, are you for real? I literally just returned from Manhattan a few weeks ago, and Midtown Manhattan looks pretty much like these streets that we're going to have a look at here from Johannesburg in a few minutes. They're absolute shitholes. Just trash and dirt everywhere. No English been spoken everywhere. Nothing but like browns running around trying to hustle and steal. Absolutely gross. But Mandami wants to improve that by implementing the ANC's Rainbow Blueprint. Get the fuck out of here, man. And people ask me all the time, why am I covering the South African angle? It's because that's exactly where we're headed here in Western countries like Ireland, the UK, Europe, America, Canada, Australia. We're all headed to exactly where South Africa is now and where Johannesburg is. The majority of the city has been hijacked by animals. The once beautiful infrastructure and architecture destroyed with shit on the streets. Murders, rapes, thefts, just absolutely vile, disgusting depravity. And for the people that are actually trying to survive that cannot get out of these places, they don't even have running water because of the Rainbow Nation and the blueprint that we're all supposed to use to build up beautiful cities and countries like America and Europe. You f***ing kidding me? A lot of large profiles are covering this Twitter handle here, Josie versus Josie, and it's basically just posting pictures of Johannesburg before and after. They're very interesting to say the least. It is interesting to see the takes of like milquetoast American content creators. Apartheid was bad for blacks, but the new South Africa is bad for everyone. Well, everyone except black looters who run the country. Interesting. And we can see there like very functionable, beautiful little street in South Africa. And now it's an absolute shithole that you wouldn't walk down there on a dare. Tidy little neighborhood, nice little small houses, everything kept pretty clean. Alright, absolute shantytown shithole. Cool. Tidy enough, not too bad. 2010 versus 2025. Rainbow Nation. Nelson Mandela. This is what New York is going to look like. This is what London does look like. This is what Dublin looks like. And if they're not there, they're getting close. Again, most of these pictures are 10, 15, 20 tops years old. And you can see here the decline is huge. Like buildings ripped to the ground, replaced with shacks and crime. And I covered this recently when we talked about apartheid, and I showed a bunch of examples. I couldn't show all of them because there were so many, of just like your general black student in South Africa that believed that there was so much better under apartheid. And even seeing pictures like this, you're kind of looking on, okay, like nice little small town area, a little bit of green grass. What does it look like? All right. You're taking white-built cities that were fast becoming first world havens and turning them into third world slums. Still, you get an army of bots and lunatics online talking about colonization. This is the result of decolonization, and it's gross, and I'm sure they know. But again, this isn't about common sense, and it's not about what's best for the country or best for the people or equality in any way. This is about vengeance and revenge, and it's about punishment. The ANC government and the people that support them and vote for them are happy to live in absolute squalor and dirt if it means that one white person has to move out into a shanty town as well. Vindictive and disgusting. And with these pictures of Johannesburg before and after trending this week, and a lot of eyes being on them from the United States of America in terms of big content creators, it really does put things in perspective in terms of the rhetoric coming out of South Africa, the rhetoric that Westerners are enduring and are right at the embers of being like South Africa with. South Africa's most famous politician is Julius Malema, who repeatedly calls for the killing of white people with impunity. Propaganda is run by mainstream media and politicians, but probably most annoying is that the same propaganda is ran by white people as well, who are indoctrinated, soft-minded fools. And they're the people that drive me insane. Because in South Africa, they were the minority, and they had control, and they had beautiful architecture and beautiful infrastructure. And they were the minority. In Western countries, we're not quite there yet. We're not the minority yet, but it's coming really soon. And still, the Western people don't have the ability to band together, see what's going on, tell the truth, and try stop this before it goes too far. They're too interested in sipping lattes and growing mustaches. It's disgusting. Like everything else that requires critical thinking, it's always going to be too late. Like when you meet a person now, whether they have a mustache and a mullet or not, most of them will tell you that they're not putting any more injections into their arm. And some of them that are less retarded might even say, you know what? You were right. We shouldn't have done that. You were right to promote homeschooling because what's going on in the curriculum, absolutely vile and disgusting. You might have them people that are aware, and you can be sure that they're aware of the replacement as well. They just haven't come to terms with it yet, and they better get there quick before it's too late.